to just hit this from the medical perspective. The tone and the verbiage from EPA has changed over the past several months to this theme of childhood asthma. Gina McCarthy touts it, everybody in the EPA touts it, and this is what they're trying to sell, that the ozone is causing this exacerbation. Again, I am limited in my practice as to I have to do what we call standard of care, and we have to do things based on only evidence-based scientific data. And I usually go to the CDC for my talking points and when I'm trying to determine what's best for my clientele. I've practiced medicine all my life, and I've practiced it in places all over the world. And I look at CDC charts and maps, and I see where there are the lowest emission standard, there's the highest asthma, and Gary, goes back to your statement of socioeconomic factors being a major cause of exacerbation of asthma, and I can tell you from a practitioner's point that's very true. I look at some of these other studies from these nonprofits, and the first thing that we as physicians and any scientist is taught is to look at who's funding the study because of the conflict of interest possibility. Where are you getting your money? And Dr. Craft, and when the Congresswoman asked you a question about ozone and the possible developmental lung function, I noticed that you didn't use the word ozone. You immediately shifted to air pollutants to answer that question. So, Dr. Honeycutt, I will start with you. I am concerned that we are seeing a lot of bias and conflict of interest in this, in our scientific advisory boards, especially the Clean Act Scientific Board. What can we do to combat that? How can we tell our constituents and our patients that what we are being told by EPA, by everyone, are actually based on facts and just not theory, and not being pushed by specific interest groups that want to sell a product?
By the way, I was born and raised in your district, and you represent my parents, so.
Hey, I didn't know that.
The CASAC is appointed by EPA. Whenever we do a board like that, we have an external party to vet people and pick them for us. And the panels need to be balanced in as far as...
Are they now balanced, in your opinion?
No, actually not.
Nor in mine. I will agree with your statement. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh, they need to be balanced in terms of bias and who they represent. And right now they're not. Okay.
And I think you've answered the question, but I'll ask you to answer it again. Will lowering the ozone standards from 70 to 60 do anything for asthma?
According to EPA, no.
And I've seen those studies too. And is there any evidence, and any panel member can answer this, that ozone, specifically ozone, exacerbates asthma? Dr. Craft.
Yes, I'd like to comment and I guess give the reason for why I didn't mention ozone specifically with the Gauderman study. Ozone actually didn't decline that much over the time period that the Gauderman study focused on, so that's why I discussed air pollution in general. To get to your question about...
But you understand, Dr. Craft, that was not the question she asked. I was just referencing the question, the specific question, and I was just looking for a specific answer, and I just didn't see that, and that's the reason I brought that up.
Right. So to give an example of a study that you requested, I'll refer to, again, testimony of Dr. Wallenius, who mentioned a 2010 study by scientists at Emory and Georgia Tech looking at a 30% increase.
And may I ask who financed that study? Do you know who financed that study?
I'm not sure who financed that study.
And that's, I guess, my point. Like the gentleman from Colorado, he had a 2,200-page study, and there are millions of studies, but I want to know who's got skin in the game as to how that study is going to be presented. So that's all I'll say. I'm out of time, and I appreciate the panel being here. Mr. Chairman, I yield back.